Close your eyes for just a moment and let yourself drift back to childhood. Picture yourself on Halloween night, dumping out that overflowing bag of candy onto the floor, your eyes scanning for those irresistible little gummy bears, the way they glisten under the light, the tantalizing sweetness that bursts across your tongue with every bite, that addictive, springy bounce as your teeth sink into their chewy embrace. For Americans, these tiny treats carry something almost magical, a sense of pure, innocent joy that transcends generations. But have you ever wondered how these mouth-watering little candies actually come to life? Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of gummy production, where science meets artistry in the most delectable way imaginable. Our journey begins with a remarkable company that sparked a sugary revolution. It was Haribo, the German candy giant that invented gummy worms in the early 1980s, igniting a craze that continues to captivate millions to this day. Here's something that might surprise you. Haribo's massive facility in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, stretching across more than 500,000 square feet, produces an astonishing 60 million gummy bears every single day. That is enough to give 2 gummies to every person in California, with millions to spare. Worldwide, Haribo now creates over 800 different products, and just last year alone, the brand welcomed 2.6 million new American households into its loyal customer base. From humble ingredients to those glossy, vibrant treats on store shelves, the transformation is nothing short of spectacular. But before Haribo can work its confectionery magic, one essential ingredient must be prepared far in advance, and that is gelatin. This is the secret behind that perfect bounce, that luscious chewiness we all crave. The seemingly simple, clear powder actually emerges from a remarkably complex industrial process at Gelita USA in Sergeant Bluff, Iowa. Each week, this sprawling facility receives about 20 tons of raw materials, including animal hides and bones, to fuel its production. When shipments arrive, workers meticulously inspect every batch for quality before sorting the hides into separate containers. The hides undergo a thorough washing process with water, while the hard bones are fed into high-powered grinders that crush them into small pieces. This crucial step dramatically increases the efficiency of what comes next, collagen extraction. So what exactly transforms these raw materials into the magical ingredient that gives gummies their signature texture? The journey continues through an intricate series of chemical metamorphoses. Once cleaned, the hides move to the alkalization stage, where they are soaked in enormous vats filled with lime solution for 7 patient days. During this time, the collagen structure slowly breaks down, softening the material and preparing it for extraction. Next comes the acid treatment, where the hides are submerged in a diluted acid bath for approximately 10 hours. This is where things get really interesting. After these initial processing steps, the raw material is heated in water at around 160 degrees Fahrenheit, a precise temperature that dissolves protein fibers and breaks the molecular bonds holding them together. As the collagen dissolves, it creates a thick, viscous liquid similar to a concentrated broth, rich with soluble proteins and organic compounds. However, the transformation is far from over. At this stage, the solution remains cloudy and contains many impurities, including undissolved solid particles invisible to the naked eye. To achieve the pristine clarity required for food-grade gelatin, the liquid must pass through an advanced filtration system featuring ultrafine ceramic membranes. Under extremely high pressure, the collagen solution is forced through filters with microscopic pores, separating out undissolved particles, excess proteins, and unwanted organic compounds. The result is a crystal-clear solution, completely free of impurities. But even this immaculate liquid contains dissolved salts and excess water that must be removed. And here is where science meets precision engineering. The solution flows through tanks filled with ultrafine synthetic resin beads that absorb the extra salts. Meanwhile, high temperatures inside the tanks cause water to evaporate, concentrating the collagen to its optimal level. After this meticulous process, the solution thickens to a honey-like consistency, amber and glistening under the factory lights. The gelatin is then slowly cooled, transforming into a semi-solid state with its signature elasticity. Picture this. The cooled gelatin is pressed through a plate with tiny holes, forming long strands similar to noodles that drop gracefully onto a conveyor belt. These delicate strands are dried with sterile hot air, which completely removes any remaining moisture while preserving quality. Once fully dried, the gelatin is ground into a fine powder, bagged, and shipped to candy factories around the world, including Haribo's Wisconsin facility. The stage is finally set for the real magic to begin. What happens next is where artistry meets automation in the most mesmerizing way. Each piece of Haribo candy emerges from a carefully calculated formula, and every single step unfolds with impeccable precision. First, the raw ingredients are selected and weighed. While it may sound simple, the recipe is exquisitely precise. Sugar, corn syrup, gelatin, starch, and water, along with citric acid and malic acid for that perfect tartness, plus a variety of enticing flavorings. Every step is fully automated. Machines handle the measuring, with control systems displaying exactly how many pounds of each ingredient need to be added. Once the tank reaches the correct level, the valve automatically shuts, and the next ingredient flows in seamlessly. All happening in perfect harmony without human intervention. But how does this mixture of simple ingredients become the chewy, flavorful candy we know and love? The answer lies in the cooking process. The mixture is heated in enormous industrial kettles at about 356 degrees Fahrenheit, using high-pressure steam. As the sweet syrup begins to boil, liquid evaporates, allowing the ingredients to fully dissolve. In just 5 minutes, the mixture transforms into a smooth, glossy liquid that practically gleams under the factory lights. This bubbling golden syrup is then piped into a vacuum cooker to cool down to around 200 degrees Fahrenheit. At this stage, technicians use a refractometer to check the thickness of the solution, a fascinating quality control step. By placing just a single drop of the hot gummy mixture onto the glass, closing the cover, and looking through the eyepiece, they can read the Brix level, the exact sugar concentration of the batch. This rigorous testing ensures every batch meets Haribo's exacting standards. Meanwhile, in another part of the facility, something remarkable is happening. When the mixture reaches the desired sweetness and temperature, it is piped over to an area known as the color flavor additive deck. Here, the once uniform syrup divides into smaller kettles where vibrant colors and enticing flavors are blended in. This is the stage where transformation truly comes to life. Originally, gummy worms came in just 2 flavors, raspberry and apple. What most people do not realize is how dramatically the lineup has expanded over the decades. Today, gummies are made in a breathtaking range of colors and tastes, with some of the most popular being sour cherry, sour raspberry, and sour grape. Flavorings like banana and cherry are often extracted directly from real fruit, giving each piece its authentic, indulgent taste. Altogether, Haribo now offers around 50 different flavors to satisfy the diverse preferences of consumers worldwide. This is where things get truly captivating. Many people are astonished to learn that gummies never actually touch metal molds. Instead, the liquid candy is poured into impressions pressed into a layer of white cornstarch mixed with a bit of mineral oil. The secret to this technique lies in cornstarch's remarkable properties. It makes a much better molding material than metal trays, and it also makes it easier to remove the gummies once they have set. This ingenious process takes place in a mesmerizing machine called a Mogul. First, the machine fills mold trays with cornstarch, smooths out the surface with precision, and then a metal stamp presses hundreds of shapes into the starch layer. When the stamp lifts, flawless impressions remain in the cornstarch, ready to receive the liquid candy. The flavored mixtures prepared earlier are piped directly from the cooking kettles into funnels mounted above the depositor. As the starch trays move rhythmically underneath, a row of nozzles fills about 400 gummy shapes in a single, breathtaking pass. The system can fill 100 trays per minute, which adds up to 2.5 million gummies every hour, or around 60 million pieces in a single production shift. The scale is simply staggering. But the journey requires patience. Once filled, the trays are stacked and sent to a curing room maintained at a steady 81 degrees Fahrenheit for 24 long hours. During this slow resting phase, the cornstarch absorbs excess moisture from the candy, allowing it to firm up into that chewy, elastic texture everyone craves. Think about it. Each gummy bear you have ever enjoyed spent an entire day quietly developing its perfect bounce. After the 24-hour curing cycle, the trays return to the Mogul, where the gummies are finally separated from their starchy beds. The machine flips the trays upside down, dropping both starch and candy onto a vibrating screen. Thanks to gravity, the fine starch falls through the mesh, while the gummies are carried forward along the line in an elegant dance of efficiency. The cornstarch is then recycled back into the system, ready for the next batch. The candies tumble gently in a rotating drum to shake off smaller or misshapen pieces, ensuring only perfect specimens continue their journey. But the transformation still is not complete. The gummies emerge still coated in a fine layer of cornstarch, giving them a matte appearance. They are sent through another rotating drum system that brushes off the excess powder. Then comes, perhaps the most surprising step of all. To give them that irresistible glistening surface, the candies are placed into giant tumbling barrels that look remarkably like cement mixers. Inside, they are coated with a thin layer of vegetable oil combined with beeswax or Carnauba wax. This delicate coating does not just make the gummies shiny, it also prevents them from sticking together once packaged. Here is a fascinating tidbit that might blow your mind. Carnauba wax is the very same ingredient used in nail polish to add gloss and durability. The only difference is that in candy production, it is refined to food-grade quality, making it completely safe to eat. That sparkling sheen on the store shelf actually shares the same secret as polished nails in a salon. Every single piece undergoes rigorous testing before leaving the facility. Gummies are randomly tested for color, shape, chewiness, and flavor. Any pieces that do not meet Haribo's impeccable standards are immediately discarded, while select samples undergo melting and elasticity tests to ensure the final product lives up to the brand's legendary quality. From here, the gummies move on to conveyors, gathered into batches on trays, and carried to the packaging area. At the automatic weighing station, vibrating funnels guide the candies into place with remarkable precision. Once the exact weight is reached, the portion drops into a clear plastic bag. In the blink of an eye, the machine heat seals the top, creating a perfectly finished package. Each bag passes through a metal detector to guarantee absolute safety before being neatly packed into large cartons. The cartons are shrink-wrapped, loaded onto palletizers, and made ready for shipping. From there, the pallets are moved onto trucks, sent to distribution centers, and eventually show up on the shelves of your favorite local stores. From the sprawling gelatin facility in Iowa to the gleaming production lines of Wisconsin, from 20 tons of raw materials to 60 million perfect little gummies, this incredible journey spans thousands of miles and countless hours of meticulous craftsmanship. These are not just candies. They are tiny works of art, each one representing the remarkable intersection of chemistry, engineering, and culinary tradition. The next time you tear open a bag and pop one of those glossy, chewy bears into your mouth, remember the 7 days of patient soaking, the precise temperatures, the dancing Mogul machines, the 24-hour curing process, and the same wax that makes fingernails shine. Remember that you are not just enjoying a treat, you are experiencing the culmination of a truly extraordinary transformation. So here's a question for you. What is your favorite gummy flavor? And do you bite the heads off first or start with the feet? Drop your answer in the comments below. We would love to hear your gummy eating confessions. If this behind-the-scenes journey into the captivating world of candy production left you craving more, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss another fascinating factory tour. Until next time, keep exploring, keep wondering, and never stop appreciating the remarkable stories behind the simple pleasures in life.